Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Yeah, D'Anthony. Welcome to Drinkin Bros Fake News. How you feeling? Last day in Los Angeles today.
I'm fine. I don't want to editorialize.
No, obviously. That's the thing I love about you. You don't want to editorialize it, and you don't want a lot of preamble. You don't.
No, give me the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Somebody's like, hey, you know that time when blah, blah, like, just assume I remember everything, because I do.
Yeah.
And then get into your fucking story and stop with all this bullshit.
Yeah.
I got things to do. I got to pound off 7 times a day. It takes a lot of time.
Easily. And we're what? Next to noon here. We're bumping up against noon. How many times have you pounded off already?
3.
3. Okay,
Yeah.
Good. Yes, you have 4 more to go.
Yeah, I mean, and it seems like not that much since I have most of the rest of the day, but I got shit to do.
Yeah.
And I don't
busy
have time.
man. He's a busy man is what we're saying.
Every one of you assholes that adds 3 to 5 minutes to your conversation unnecessarily, that's time away from me pounding off, and I don't appreciate it.
It's true. I just went through a conversation like that. I was like, hey, man, we've got a lot of guests in Los Angeles today, a lot of fucking cool people we're sitting down with. I don't have time to chat like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
On, man.
So therefore, don't fucking bore me with a 5-minute story. I can't hear it today. Other days I'll entertain it. Not today. Today is fake news that might or might not be real. We don't really know.
We're not allowed to say.
We're not allowed to say.
It's proprietary.
Yeah.
Classified.
We let you guess on your own. That way we're not liable for anything that you believe or may not believe. We're not sure. First up is, who is Roy Den Hollander? Who is that?
So we've all heard recently about this judge, Salas, I think her last name is, federal court judge who was assigned to something on the periphery of the Epstein situation.
Correct.
And essentially what she was doing was working on a case where a bunch of investors were suing the Deutsche Bank for allowing their pools of money or whatever the fuck they want to call it to brush up against or be included with Epstein shit, right? Essentially like that, not protecting them from outside bullshit.
Right.
Well, somebody dressed up in a FedEx costume, cruised up on her husband and child, who was 21, I think.
Yep.
Shot them both. The child died. Now we're finding out, this is from yesterday, that the guy's name is Roy Hollander, the FBI says.
Roy Den Hollander.
Yeah, Den. I don't know why they always give them 3 names.
And that's what I wanted to discuss.
Like, there's a lot of Roy Hollanders out there, so we have to differentiate. Oh, no, this is Ken Griffey Jr., sir.
Yeah.
Get fucked out of here, man. What do you mean?
I find it odd that they always want to put 3 names with a murder or some form of shooter in particular.
Yeah, it's stupid. But anyways, Roy Hollander is a men's rights activist and attorney.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, really. Like, what rights do men not have? I'm not sure. Maybe just get a good divorce attorney. I can see that. So you can get, like, family court, maybe dudes get fucked over. But otherwise, it's just, like, cultural shit. It's not. Anyways, I don't know what men's rights activists do. But he's the guy that committed the murder, they say. And they've also linked him to the murder of another men's rights activist in California, Mark Angelucci, on July 11th. So this...
Really?
Within the course of 8 days, I guess, he murdered somebody in California, and then he murdered somebody out there on the East Coast. The guy, Hollander, is 72, or he was, until he shot himself in the head.
So he killed himself?
Yes.
Because this is the part of the story I didn't hear. I didn't hear that he killed himself.
Yeah.
Where was it and when? Did they have him pinned down somewhere and he just fucking capped himself?
I don't think they had him cornered or anything. I didn't read anything about that. All it said was that they found his body, self-inflicted gunshot wound.
No shit.
Yeah. He's 72 years old. So I guess maybe this was his last thing. He's just some crazy old dude.
Okay.
Or he's got cancer and they said, hey, if you go fucking rough this judge's people up and then kill yourself, we'll take care of your family. Those kind of deals happen in the fucking mob all the time. There's no reason to expect the government wouldn't do the same thing.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because this was part of the, and by the way, we really want to point out, we have no idea if this is truly involving the Epstein thing. If not, it would be an unbelievable coincidence. But this is the same thing that was brought up in the Las Vegas shooting, if you'll remember. They couldn't figure out why this old man, who was, 66, 67 years old, would just blow up, shoot up the fucking...
Like, he had a gambling problem, but he was still doing pretty well financially. And who did he hate? He wasn't like on message boards talking about I'm gonna fucking kill country music fans or whatever the fuck. I mean, there was no rhetoric. Usually, when somebody does something crazy like that, if you look into their life, you find rhetoric. Dylan Roof, the guy that shot those people at the Black Church in Charleston, South Carolina.
Right.
The fucking Unabomber, manifestos. You know what I mean? That's common. It's uncommon for somebody just to. It would be one thing if she presided, because she did preside over some cases, I guess, at some point that had something to do with him. It would be one thing if it was just that. But the fact that he did that plus kill the other men's rights activists,
right?
It makes it seem like that was probably what was going on and not anything related to Epstein.
Yeah, because there's been a lot of tinfoil hat conspiracy theories out there regarding this. I don't know what is what. Initially when I read this story, it was the Epstein thing, and it was like, oh, shit. And I was like, well, gotta be that.
Here we go again.
And then you read the rest of this weird shit, and, I don't know if it's because of the time we're living in, and the media seems to be all fake, or everybody's so quick to attach some form of conspiracy to something else. Like, I'm not sure what it is, but it seems to be happening more and more.
Well, this is nothing new, though. It's just taking a new form. What it used to be was people would see something that kind of sort of looked like Jesus or the Virgin Mary in a dog's asshole or a fucking piece of toast and think, oh, that's human beings are pattern. We seek out patterns because they make sense to us.
Right.
It's a biological thing. Like certain types of shapes and like patterns on animals signify that they're dangerous and shit like that.
Right.
It's how we've stayed alive. So it makes sense that your brain does that. But I would ask that you kind of rise above your reptilian brain to the mammalian brain. Take a second look at stuff before you just start putting out information. That would be a good thing, probably.
Probably, but that's not going to happen.
Not in this media, no.
And this is going to continue. The other part about this is once that gets out there with the Epstein thing, that's it. It lives in people's minds. And look, let's say you didn't follow up on this story. I didn't. I was traveling, right? I was in Austin. I've been in Los Angeles. We've been shooting a lot of shit, recording the new audiobook, which you're in. You crushed last night. Appreciate it, D'Anthony. It's one of those things where I didn't follow up on the story. Therefore, when the judge got shot, I'm all in on Epstein. I don't think anything about this. I don't even know that this guy fucking killed himself until you told me today before we went on air. And I was like, all right, well, shit. There is more behind a lot of these cases that are out there, but you throw up one quick flashy headline and the rest of it seems like, it's on page 90,
Well, I mean, it's no different than people believing Facebook political ads. Like people don't do any independent research on stuff. Everybody's a fucking dum-dum.
It's true. And for this story right now, that's all it is. And if you didn't bring this to our attention today, I would have just thought, oh my God, yeah. I heard that judge, her husband and the son got capped in the Epstein thing. I don't know what to think about this. I tend to agree with you on whenever it's somebody older like this, I think to myself, are they at the end of their life and they're just saying, fuck it at this point? Because I think that's what you and I would do.
I would, if I found out today that I had terminal cancer, I would kill as many pedophiles as I could before I died.
Yes, I believe you. Yeah,
I would kill every single one I could find.
Yeah,
and so why not, right?
And then what would be your end game? Have you thought about that? Let's go dark today.
My end game?
Yeah.
You mean like how I would check out?
So let's say the police had caught up to you and they were like, all right, we know Dan's murdered like 50 pedophiles.
I'm not going to put a police officer in a position where they have to shoot me. I'll say that.
Okay.
Because I think that's poor form. That's cowardice.
Right.
Suicide by cop. Now, just do it yourself, pussy.
Gotcha.
Not that you should kill yourself, but in this scenario, obviously, I've done something that I feel is noble, and now I'm ready to go. It's my time.
Right.
Like, I'm not depressed. It's time to go. You know what I mean? So,
sure.
Yeah, I would definitely kill I wouldn't want some officer to have to live with the fact that, like, he killed somebody that a lot of people are going to see as not somebody that should have been killed, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'm also not going to be taken into custody because I'm not going to live the rest of my life in a fucking jail cell either. I'm dying in this fucking story, by the way. This isn't some goddamn fucking bucket list item for me.
Yeah.
Although killing pedophiles is a bucket list item.
For you, yes.
If I were elected president today, the 28th Amendment, and it would be the only thing I would talk about, and it's that the 28th Amendment would say that there's a death penalty now for any pedophilia.
Yeah.
You die immediately.
I agree.
And if anybody had a problem with that, then I would probably just trash them all day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do anything else. Like, hey, these guys are smart. They can run the rest of the government. I'm going to kill pedophiles.
The reason why I asked this, and I know this sounds weird, is I was thinking about that Dorner guy the other night. Mm-hmm. Remember him, the former LAPD guy?
Yeah.
Who ended up...
Well, he was LA Sheriff's Department, I think, wasn't he? Or was he LAPD?
I forget.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he was capping a bunch of people.
Yep.
But when they finally got, they caught up with him in Big Bear, I believe, he killed himself.
Yeah. Most people do. Most guys do, and I say guys because it's only guys that do mass shootings.
Has there ever been a woman that's done any shit like this?
The San Bernardino shooter had a partner who was a woman, his wife. But that's the only one that I can really remember.
Yeah. Strange.
Yep.
Strange. The one with the Dorner thing was strange because it was like, hey, man, you're willing to kill all these cops every day, but then you won't go out guns a-blazing and try to kill more? Like,
yeah.
Odd.
Well, he was clearly psychologically disturbed. I feel like I would be as rational as I am now in that scenario.
Sure.
So it's different, right?
Well, I read his manifesto, and some of the movies he liked were very questionable.
Oh yeah, like what?
Oh God, dude! If you go through it, like he would tell it, like his manifesto was pretty funny because he was like, "Man, I hated this movie, but I really loved this one." And you were like, "Oh, that one?" It was like a Keanu Reeves movie or something. You're just like,
So he's just a contrarian then.
I guess.
Probably, right?
Yeah. The whole thing was fucking odd to me.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. All right. Nope. Not even give him the P. Fuck him. Next up, are we living in an episode of The Wire? Because it really does feel like it. Chicago police say a group of armed children, ages 10 to 17, have carjacked at least 16 people since late June. Police say in 2 of the carjackings, shots were fired by the children. Now, the kids are actually using the stolen cars to carjack other people. Any guess which side of the city this is happening on? I'll wait.
This is Chicago, right?
Yep.
South.
Ah, there you go.
It's the south side of Chicago.
There you go. These kids are so brazen that they've carjacked up to 6 different people in one day, it sounds like Gone in 60 Seconds.
It's easy to think that this is some kind of gang initiation shit, but it's probably just fucking bored, fatherless teenagers for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, everybody calling people thugs or like they're just fucking gang violence. It's a monolith. It's an easy way to describe something that's far more nuanced. These are probably bored kids with a couple of older ones that are instigators that are, just being dicks because they have no dads. And you know why they have no dads? Because Joe Biden put them all in jail.
Yeah.
Joe Biden's fucking legislation put them all in prison for weed. That's why they don't have dads. So thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. It's a strange thing here with this story for me. Terry Crews, who I'm not a fan of at all. I just think he's fucking weird, to be honest with you. He was on Don Lemon a couple weeks ago, and I believe you and I chatted about it for a little bit. But he actually went on the show and said something that I agreed with, where he was like, with the Black Lives Matter movement, how come we're not stopping the violence that is happening in Chicago and on the South Side, in particular with kids getting shot or kids in gangs and everything else that's going on now? And Don Lemon says, well, that's not what Black Lives Matter is about. It is about police brutality, white officers against black people, and that's what that movement is about. To me, if you're going to use a name like Black Lives Matter, it should be all Black Lives Matter, regardless of the circumstances, right? Because I don't want these kids to die. I don't want them to grow up in gangs or fucking carjacking people.
Yeah.
Ages 10 to 17. Like, I've got a 6-year-old right now. In no fucking way could I ever imagine my child stealing a car at the age of 10 years old, or multiple cars at 10 years old. It seems so fucking insane to me that I honestly can't wrap my mind around it. However, it is clearly happening in this city, and nothing has been done about it. The weirdest part for me is Obama is the Chicago guy.
Yeah.
When he was in office, this has been going on for years. The Chirac.
Yeah, the whole thing, yeah.
The TV show on fucking Showtime. The Chi is all about this is right now. Why didn't he do anything for his own fucking city?
That's a good question that you should ask him and Biden. So Biden's like, we can. This whole premise is that we can fix the problems in the United States. Motherfucker, you've been in some kind of official capacity in office, except for the last 3.5 years for the last 50 almost.
Right.
What the fuck have you done, bitch? Except for put a bunch of black people in jail.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that is the highlight of Joe Biden's political career, is putting millions of black men in jail.
Yeah.
So get fucked with all that bullshit. You can absolutely call somebody. This is my challenge to people on the conservative side of this argument. You can absolutely call Biden and Obama hypocrites, because they absolutely are on this issue.
Mm-hmm.
So is Don Lemon. So is anybody that's not pretty much saying what Terry Crews said on that show. But don't dismiss the movement because BLM as an organization is Marxist, and because these fucking dum-dums in Hollywood and the press and shit don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It doesn't mean that we can just say, oh, well, that's fine. I guess these people are assholes, so we don't have to pay attention to them. No, it's just like any other fucking thing. There's a couple of dum-dums that are fucking saying stupid shit in public or using a power vacuum to try to push their own fucking political agenda. But that doesn't mean that there aren't people suffering right now. Right?
Yeah. And
keep your fucking head on, get a little tunnel vision, and start fucking moving people like Don Lemon the fuck out of you.
Right.
Right. And listen to people that know what the fuck they're talking about.
The other part of this is Trump took a lot of heat at a press conference when they said, well, why aren't you doing anything about the shootings in Chicago? And he goes, what I'd like to do is move the military in there and the National Guard in there to figure this the fuck out and get it squared away, because he goes, I don't think Obama did anything about it either.
Right.
I would like to. And there was an uproar of like, oh, you can't send the National Guard in Chicago. You can't put troops in the streets.
Right.
Why not? If this shit is happening every single day, we live in America. This is a city that has been forgotten. People don't give a fuck. And unless it's talked about, in a podcast or something else, you'll never hear about it. Because let's face it, they're sure as fuck not saying this on the news every goddamn
No,
day.
they won't. Because if you bring that problem up, then you're accountable for having a solution to that problem. Right? That's just how it is. Like, if you say that's fucked up, the first question somebody's going to say, well, we'll fucking fix it then. How are you going to fix it? And these assholes don't want to take any kind of hard stance on anything that might in any way appear to go against their agenda. Right? So if it's not, and this is so reductive and stupid, but if it's not pro-black, and by pro-black they mean anything, as long as it doesn't criticize black people in any way, it's fine to say. But if it does even a little bit, and Jamil Hill made this point last week, ignorantly not understanding that she was describing the fucking pitfalls of PC culture.
Yeah.
She made this exact point. So that's why they won't say anything, but I will. I don't give a fuck about that shit.
No. And you can't anymore, because when it comes to the lives of children and safety, I don't understand why it's unpopular to speak out about that, regardless of race. I don't give a fuck if they were Asian or white, black.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to see murders in the streets of the United States when it's like, man, we have the capability to do anything we want and so much more. But it also seems like Chicago doesn't want the help. Their fucking bullshit mayor there.
Yeah.
Is it still Rahm Emanuel?
She's
Is
she's
she
like,
still in there?
no, it's the woman.
Oh, that's right. Fuck.
I can't remember her name, but I just saw a picture of her this morning. Her and her wife with de Blasio and his wife.
Yeah.
Like doing a photo op. Like,
Yeah.
You guys have done such a great job. Why don't you take a fucking picture? Are you kidding me, you pieces of shit?
It's crazy, man.
Anyways, they're I agree with people who took some pause to think about the fact that Trump said to use the military, because I don't think that should be the case. I don't think it's necessary to use the military. There's plenty of
what do you
very
do
qualified
if you want to
police
defund the
officers.
police, right?
Well, they have you have federal aid. What they're doing in Portland right now is fine. There's a story about that later, so I won't get too far into it. But the suggestion that the deploying fucking DHS assets to assist with local governments and shit is nonsense. That's not unconstitutional in any way. As a matter of fact, I think it's like 70 U.S. Code 1315 that allows it, and then Obama signed an executive order for just that very thing. So get fucked with that bullshit. But I wouldn't use the military because it's not their job. Like, I've been a member of the military put into a situation where I'm trying to police people instead of fucking fight, and it does not work out all the time.
Explain to the audience why.
Because I'm trained to fuck people up, dude. I'm not trained to be nice and protect and serve. That's not my job. The police officer's job is to protect and serve. FBI agents protect and serve, all that shit. If you're an 1811 or 1801 in the federal government, you protect and serve. If you're a cop, you protect and serve. I fucking murder people. It's not the same thing. It's not the same mindset. Now, if you want to take MPs and do that, fine. right? But even our military MPs aren't necessarily trained for patrolling in that kind of way, right? They patrol military bases for the most part. So it's so much different. Like, there's not pockets of crime in military bases. Sure, there are hot spots where fucking dummies are doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
But there's not like poor neighborhoods on Fort Bragg that are poorer than the rest of the fucking base. It's just not, the socioeconomic shit doesn't come into play there. It's just dumb-dumbs in the barracks mostly doing stupid bullshit. So it's not the same. You're asking people who write fucking short stories to come write a fucking screenplay.
Right.
And it's not the same goddamn thing. Even though they're both technically police officers, it's not the same thing. And for me and our guys, for shooters, it's not even anywhere close to the same thing. I don't want to be in that position. I hated it. I hated fucking feeling like I was the thumb on somebody's head. You know what I mean? I hated that feeling, which is kind of fucked up because I didn't mind the feeling of fucking people up, but it's just not my job to do that. And I don't think it's a good idea to send military into places like that.
Look, the reason I ask is this show is, look, it's massive. It's got 9.3 million listeners. Obviously, we're shadow banned on YouTube, but it's important to know because, like, look, from a civilian aspect, we don't understand why. Hey, man, just send the military in there, right? Because I think for the most part, civilians think of the military as like the good guys, right?
Of course, and they are, but that doesn't mean like a mechanic is a good guy too, but you wouldn't hire him to fucking recarpet your house.
Right.
It's different jobs.
You just assume the skill set translates into different things, but clearly it doesn't. Right?
No, it's not even close to the same thing.
Okay, and that's important to know.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked, because we got a lot of people out there who are listening who are like, all right, cool, man. Well, this seems like a good idea, myself included. Now that you're talking about it makes more sense. And I'm like, all right, yeah, maybe you should put.
You would have to spend like 6 months to a year training a unit of infantry people to get them. Because, look, they can be trained, obviously. A lot of infantry dudes come out. A lot of soldiers, Marines, and sailors and airmen come out and become cops, right? And have great careers doing it. So it's not like they can't get their brain around it and do it. It's just not what their fucking day-to-day is. You know what I mean? So you got to, it's like, I assume if you went from the NFL to Australian rules football, there would be a learning curve, right?
Yeah.
And you can't afford a learning curve when you send armed men and women onto the street. You can't.
That makes
sense. Do it. Not in this goddamn country. You just can't afford that.
Shout out to the Jump Out boys. Maybe they could solve all these problems, you know? As we talked about them last week, we got a lot of love.
I've been arguing with a lot of people online about it. They're like, "Oh, you support fascism?" Like, no, I support surgical enforcement of fucking rules, man. I would much rather 2 federal agents jump out of a minivan, scoop up some dude that they have on video with his face destroying something.
Yeah.
That's federal property, scoop him up, take him in, get him arraigned, and the fuck out of there, instead of charging in with batons in a crowd of people who 80 to 90% are just there to fucking protest and not cause shit.
Yeah.
How does that not fucking make sense to you? God fucking damn it, dude.
We love the Jump Out boys, brother.
I might get a Jump Out Boys tattoo.
We should make Jump Out Boys t-shirt, all black and just white letters. Old school, like LL Cool J shirts that just say the Jump Out boys.
Yeah. Here's the one problem with it.
Fan.
Our engineer, Giorgio, won't stop trying to convince us just to kidnap random people.
Was that you last night?
Yeah, he wouldn't stop fucking talking about it.
No, it was Zach Hurd.
Oh, it was Zach Hurd.
It was Zach Hurd. So yesterday we had a longtime Drinkin Bro, OG Drinkin Bro from day one. Zach Hurd on for the NHL preview show for Drinkin Bros Sports yesterday, which he was great, by the way.
He's always great, yeah.
Super knowledgeable. Great show. And all those bets are live on Drinkin Bros Sports on Facebook. But he was the one who was convincing us. He was like, dude, we need to do a Jump Out Boys reality show. And it was like, hey, man, I don't think that's going to go over so well with Gen Pop. But you know what is going well with Gen Pop is Ghost Bed. The Ghost Beds from ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros are going over real well with everybody. And look, their new deals are amazing. This includes the Jump Out boys.
I want you to look on the screen right now at that fucking Posturepedic style bed, the fucking adjustable base.
Yes.
Imagine getting your dick sucked on that thing. That's what I want you to be thinking about right now. 80 fucking something% of our audience is male, right?
Yeah.
So just imagine yourself getting your dick sucked. I don't care if it's by a woman or a dude.
No, it doesn't matter.
Llama.
We're not judging.
Yak, probably probably would be fine.
Get your balls licked by a llama. Who gives a fuck? Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Anybody who's a member of the military, a first responder, works for the government, or is a teacher, that's a big one. Teachers get 30% off of all the products at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. If you're a regular dumb civilian like myself, you get 25% off everything in the entire store. And if you get a mattress, you get 2 free pillows. And I can promise you the pillows are just as great as the goddamn mattress. As always, they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program. No interest on that. So all those deals I just talked about are applicable when you buy it. And the best in the biz. Look, man, we've never had one complaint. This is one company we've never had one fucking complaint over. And it's amazing. Go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. And get your mattress on. Next up, gun sales, Dan, are up. Way up. Yep. We're starting to get into uncharted territory as a country now with the rise of COVID and protests, and there's more violence, and it's just both are being more widely spread than any other past decades here as far as gun sales and protests and all that other shit. I get it, man. You know, because of the incursion into private businesses and homes by these fucking dummies, dude, we're seeing quite a few first-time gun owners, and we're getting a lot of messages about being a first-time gun owner from listeners. And, you know, for me, we had this discussion off air, like of when I got my first gun, right? Mm-hmm. I remember in my family when we got our first guns. Most of my family, by the way, was military. Mm-hmm. So obviously, you know, they were overseas and did what they did in wars, right? One was in World War II. Shit, one was in World War One. One was in Korea, and then another one got drafted for Vietnam, but he was in college and then went to the National Guard. So I've heard this stories about the importance of guns and gun ownership. For me personally, it did not happen until I actually got robbed. Right. Until something physically happened to me as a person when I was like, shit, I need a fucking gun. Because I was living in Hollywood and it was unpopular at the time, obviously. But it was a year in, man. I got robbed my first year here and I was like, well, fuck this. I need a fucking gun. I understand why gun sales are up. I think it is important that everybody owns a gun to protect yourself during times like we're in. I mean, we make a huge joke about the Ken and Karen and the guy with the AR-15, but dude, somebody burst through your fucking gates. You know, what are you going to protect yourself with? What are you going to go out there with, a fucking fly swatter? That's not going to do it anymore. So these numbers aren't shocking, but we'll read them to you here. Per the article, the firearm purchases are up 95%. Ammo sales are up 139%. And gun sales amongst Black Americans are up 58%.
That's the big one.
It's the big one. It's the biggest one.
Because you're always looking for when there's a spike in gun sales, is it the same roughly 40 million Americans or so that are buying more guns, or is it more Americans buying guns? This shows you that it's more Americans buying guns because
correct.
Not to play into the monolith, but the vast majority of Black people in America vote on the left side, and now they're buying guns. Right. Like they're engaging in legal gun ownership at a fucking exponential rate right now. So that shows you that more and more people on the left are. It's not just Black people for sure.
Yeah, and I
like
think a lot of these.
I don't think that couple in St. Louis were like particularly conservative or anything.
You know, I'm not sure. They were both lawyers, but
most lawyers are conservative that are in business law, at least.
I think if you were to expose all of the people who had a gun registered to them, I think you would see a lot more people on the left than you think, but they're just not admitting it. I've had a lot of people in Hollywood, in particular, come up to me and say, hey, man, like quietly, you know, whispering, I own a gun, or I voted for Trump. And they feel bad about it because of the culture out here in California that we're in right now. And I don't know why it's such a secret or why it's deemed as a bad thing. You wanting to protect your family and your property and things that you own, you shouldn't be ashamed of. Like, I don't understand that. You know, even if you're, fuck, man, remember the UFC guy? We had it wasn't on this show. You and I were guests on another show with John Brinkus. The UFC guy in Colorado got his house broken into.
Oh, yeah. Anthony Smith.
Yeah, Anthony Smith.
Yeah.
He fucking went toe-to-toe with a guy for 18 minutes.
With his wife and children in the back room.
In the back room.
Like, he's just wailing on this guy. Finally, his wife has to come in and basically stop him because he's a goddamn UFC fucking light heavyweight.
And he almost killed him with a knife. But and we had asked him on the show, we were like, hey, man, why didn't you have a gun? And he goes, dude, I own a gun. I carry a gun. He goes, that was the one night
day,
that it was not near my nightstand.
No days off, brother.
Yeah. So I understand all of it. But why people aren't coming out and saying, hey, man, I am a gun owner. Here is why.
Yeah.
Is simply because of politics, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's bullshit. And it's another one of those things that PC culture fucks up because obviously we're seeing that not only was the narrative that conservatives preached for decades that private gun ownership is important is true, but also people on the left are now starting to believe it. And I don't think they want to admit that they're fucking finally capitulating on this issue, which is dumb because here's what it does. It discludes them from communities where safe and good, like what's the word I'm looking for? Safe and like responsible gun ownership happens. Like this Ken and Karen on their front lawn pointing their fucking guns at people like this and fucking that's a no-go, man. I don't give a fuck what's going on. That old lady can't walk around like casually pointing a fucking loaded weapon at people in a crowd. You cannot do that.
Well, you need proper training, but here's the thing. If somebody
Well, you're not. That's what I'm
if
saying.
somebody kicks open my gates.
No, I got all that. Don't. But
she was not prepared for what was happening.
No,
and that's the defense I'll give them. They had no idea fucking 80 people were going to storm.
For sure. I'm just talking.
Gates.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the way they handle the weapons. It's very clear that they're untrained on them.
Yes.
She may have gotten 2 or 3 shots off, and that weapon would have been ripped out of her hand, and she would have been beaten to death.
I agree.
So,
but as are most people, you realize.
No, I got it. That's what I'm saying. The PC bullshit around guns is absolutely stopping new gun owners who are on the left or center left from going out and getting the training they need because they don't want to expose themselves as fucking gun owners. Mm-hmm. This is another example. We see them every single day of how this fucking like polarized political bullshit and PC culture fucks up real shit and our actual lives. Not like how we're feeling about shit. Right. Like my ability to defend my fucking actual life is affected because of my political beliefs at that point. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's one of those secrets, and I'm going to put that in fucking air quotes, the word secrets, that should not be a secret. You should be able to talk about it with people. You should want people to get the proper training with guns, so you don't have that woman fucking daintily shaking a fucking weapon around with her finger on the trigger. Look. We saw the footage. That trigger discipline was bullshit, obviously. She clearly had no training. I'm not going to come down on them in any way because I'm sure they were scared to death. Fucking 80 people kicked in their goddamn gate and were protesting in front of their house for no reason. But yes, the more and more this becomes public and the more and more you're able to talk about it and discuss it with other people, the better training and safety you'll have around these weapons where it's like, all right, great, man. You'll feel more confident with it, and you're less likely to do something stupid, in my opinion. We got a brand new sponsor, D'Anthony. I'm gonna let you take this. You're the wine guy. It's First Leaf.
I am the wine guy. So First Leaf is our fucking URL is not working right now, but yeah, we'll just give them one for free anyways.
For sure. Because they're gonna be a sponsor for a while here, and. Look, you and I both drink a shit ton of wine, as is my wife and everyone else.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say I probably drink more wine in this life than anything. Like,
I don't know if that's true for me. I have a lot. I've got probably 40 or 50 bottles in my house right now.
Yeah.
Like I enjoy curated collections of wine because it's like steaks or cigars or coffee or whatever else. There's a rich range of flavor profiles, and it's interesting to me. At any rate, if you're a person like me that really enjoys it, or someone who doesn't know a lot about it, this is going to be the same as some of the other places we've sent you, like Bespoke Post, for example, or Box of Awesome.
Yeah.
Box of Awesome, and I guess Roman does it to some degree as well, but you answer a survey.
Yep.
Right? And it's about like the kind of flavors you like and the types of foods you like and all this other stuff, and they recommend wines to you.
Yes.
Right? This is the first step. This is a wine club, right? And then over time, you build... Like they keep testing you with new stuff. Mm-hmm. You report back what you liked, and you start to build not only a palate for wine, but a nice fucking collection for not much money.
Correct.
It's cheap as fuck.
Now, this is, I'm going to be honest, this is a sponsor that we personally fought for.
Yeah.
And we do this from time to time. Like, we listen to all your suggestions, and you're like, hey, man, I'd like a promo code for this or this or this. We drink a lot of wine, and we enjoy wine. And this was when we reached out to them, and we were like, hey, man, it'd be rad to have you on the show. It'd be rad to be a part of this. And once the URL is up and running.
Yeah, I just can't figure out why it's not working right now, but we'll get it to you. We might post it here in the comments later.
But First Leaf is rad, and we've been working on this deal for a long time, man. A very long time, because we both enjoy wine. Fuck, man. Jesse loves wine more than life itself. But yeah, Dan's had a collection for a long time. One of the weird things you may not know about Dan is, actually, you might know this about him. He's a fucking sophisticated guy. He's kind of like the Ron Swanson. Like, everything you think you might know about Dan might be true. Very sophisticated guy. Loves wine. You've had a collection for a long time since I known you in fucking San Antonio. The very first day I knew you, I went over to your house and I had a glass of wine with you.
Yeah.
You had like 60 bottles in your
I've got a lot,
house. Yeah.
So I've been a part of a number of wine clubs because what I like is I don't join the actual winery wine club because it's going to send you the same wine over and over. I join these curated lists.
Right.
And to be honest, digitally speaking, there haven't been a lot of them over time. There's one other one that I've used before, but it's just okay. And I used one that was actually a physical place that I had to go into, which is a pain in the ass. I'm never doing that again.
Right.
But First Leaf, like, you answer this quiz, right?
Sure.
And this is something that I haven't dealt with in any other kind of fucking wine club before. You answer this quiz, and then you get what they call an introductory order.
Right.
They send you 6 bottles of wine, a couple of white, mostly red, depending on your preference, obviously.
Right.
For me, it was mostly red. And you get your bottles, you fucking taste them, you fucking write back notes.
Yep.
And then based on those notes, they have like fucking sommeliers, literal sommeliers on staff.
Yeah.
That fucking like, all right, well, he'll like, or she'll like all of these, right? And then you get more wine after that. You sign up for the club and decide how many you're going to get and when and where and all this shit. And it's very flexible. Like you can pause things. It's not locking you into a lifetime commitment.
We've been looking for a good one for a long time, and we've been working on this deal personally for a long time.
And they've also got 100% personal satisfaction guarantee. If you don't like any of the wines they send you, they'll give you all your fucking money back.
Yeah,
basically.
And we'll have the URL probably next week.
I think I've got it now, but it doesn't seem to be working. It's
what is it?
It's firstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros, but it's not working right now.
All right. Firstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros. They're going to be with us for a few months. We're amped to have them. And
it's 6 bottles of wine for $30 and free shipping.
Fuck, dude.
And free shipping for an entire, like your first year, you get free shipping the whole year.
The whole thing's amazing, man.
It's cheap as fuck.
We literally reached out to them for 2 months and said, hey, please let us do this.
And I think if you continue with the full 6 bottles, like the first one is 6 bottles to get you exposed to a bunch of shit so they can get your notes back.
Yeah.
But if you continue at that rate, I think it's like with the free shipping, it's like $60 bucks a month for fucking 6 bottles of wine, dude. That's like buying wine in Northern California.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I blow through it.
Yeah.
Next up, China. It has about 48 hours to close their consulate in Houston.
Get the fuck out. It's like the beginning of Justified.
Crazy,
where he's sitting
man.
there in Miami with the guy, and he's like, you have 24 hours to get out of town.
Yeah.
I just imagine fucking Trump, and this is kind of, I'm making fun of him a little bit, but I imagine him with like a little bitty fucking child 6-shooter belt on. Like, you got 48 hours to get the hell out of my town, motherfucker. You know what I mean? But this is actually legit. China can get fucked.
Why is this? Tell the people why this
is.
It
seems like based on some of the leaked comments and some of the like the cursory comments, offhand comments from people that are in the House and Senate, it seems like China's been running a massive spy operation out of the air.
Really?
Yeah, which is not fucking surprising. Come on, of course they were fucking doing that.
That's crazy, man.
And with all this other bullshit going on, with them literally culturing a virus that shut the entire world down, it's time to start holding China accountable. So I made a post earlier today. It's my Get Fucked of the Week post, and it's about China, and I asked people what they thought they should do. One person, hold on, let me see who it was so I can give them credit. But their idea was that we should take all the debt that China owns and look at it next to how much we've lost from coronavirus and subtract that amount from it.
I agree. I 100% agree. And look, I've been even more vocal about it, about if they can't control, if this virus did indeed come from a wet market.
Moistly Johnny is his name on Instagram, of course.
Great.
Thanks for
Is it
making
at
me.
Moistly Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny with 2 N's, no H. Thanks for making me say that out loud, you piece of shit.
Yeah, big fan of that username.
What a dick.
Look, I've been even more vocal about China. If this virus did indeed come from a wet market and they're now reopened again, bomb the shit out of them. But that's if you believe that. I don't know what to believe. I don't know where this virus came from. And I'm torn with this one. But yeah, with this, get them the fuck out of Houston. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why are they even there in the fucking first place? I didn't even know about this.
No, I don't know why they had a consulate in Houston specifically.
I don't either.
Every country has a consulate here in the United States for the most part.
Right. But why
it's
in
mostly
Houston?
either in New York or DC.
Exactly. Yeah. They're usually in New York.
I don't know. Here's what the State Department said. They said that the Chinese mission in Houston was being closed for, quote, in order to, quote, protect American intellectual property and Americans' private information. I assume this has to do with something with the fucking TikTok situation where they're stealing private data.
Right.
And China is the largest purveyor globally of I don't even know what you want to call it. Like stealing IP.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They do that. They steal from pretty much every major companies. Like they want your fucking user data.
Sure.
Basically, and they want your IP so they can recreate it and then sell it in America.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those folks out there that are buying things that look like American-made products, but they're actually made in China, you're kind of fucking yourself over a little bit. You probably should stop that.
Yeah, and additionally, since we're in LA and we've had like a bunch of celebrities and shit and coming on the show or that are going to be guests, we've talked to them about TikTok, and we've talked to a few of these TikTokers, which I fucking hate that phrase. And we said to them, hey man, what do you think about the possibility of TikTok being shut down? Because that's what Trump has said, and that's what Pence has said in some press remarks. And they said we wouldn't be surprised by it. And I was shocked by that. I was like, because a lot of these people are making money off of this shit. And I was like, really? And I was like, isn't that going to fuck over your business? And they were like, it is. But we've heard some awful shit about what is happening behind this app.
Yeah.
That's we're trying to convert people to other things like Instagram and other shit. And I was like, fuck. Surprisingly, I haven't really heard any negative feedback from TikTokers who were like,
I think today's digital media, like independent content creator, if you don't know this by now, then you're not going to last very long anyways. But they understand that you have to build an audience that's irrespective of platform.
Right.
Like you have to be able to take your game to any city in town or any city in the country. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Right.
Milo found that out. Alex Jones found that out. Both were prepared to deal with it because they were collecting phone numbers and email addresses.
Correct, yeah.
Phone numbers and email addresses. If you're out there and you're trying to start a business, I don't care if you're fucking selling floor tiles in your hometown, phone numbers and email addresses.
Right.
The end.
We need to figure that out as well. We have so many listeners. I don't know what's going to happen with all this shit.
Yeah.
What I do know is that you can listen to the show on buyraycon.com/Drinkin Bros. Best headphones in the business. Wireless. These are the best wireless headphones in the business. They last about 6 hours now, and they recharge in this little tiny box. It's like a pill box. It's amazing. When you go to buyraycon.com/Drinkin Bros, you get about 15% off. Knocks it down about $65. And it comes with a bunch of rubber pieces for your ears. So no matter how big your fucking ear holes are, you're good to go. Go to buyraycon.com/Drinkin Bros today and get the best wireless headphones in the business. Everybody wears these goddamn things, and they're 80% cheaper than Bose or fucking Beats by Dr. Dre. So go to buyraycon.com/Drinkin Bros today. Get some affordable headphones, best wireless in the game, and they last about 6 hours.
We got some breaking news here.
Oh, what do we got?
So a federal judge just ruled to unseal the documents from the 2015 case against Ghislaine Maxwell, which include the fucking Epstein flight logs.
No way.
Yes, sir.
Is that going down right now?
I just posted about 3 minutes ago, I think.
Whoa.
Yep.
Read it aloud if you don't mind here.
A federal judge ruled on Thursday to publicly release documents that have been kept under seal in a case involving Ghislaine Maxwell, blah, blah, blah. U.S. District Judge Loretta Preska, who hopefully doesn't have a husband or child at home that
Nailed
get
it.
murdered by the Clintons, is giving the legal team a week to pursue an appeal to her decision, but ordered the court to have the documents ready to be posted within the week, according to her.
Holy shit.
Yep. Let's see what else is in here.
You know what's funny? So on RPR earlier this morning, I said I thought the tide was changing. This was the first time I've been in LA. You and I have been here for about a week at this point. Well, we've talked to celebrities who have been fed up with the pedophile shit. And like, for some reason, at every dinner and lunch and conversation we've had, it has been brought up.
Yeah.
Where people are like, hey,
everybody's
man,
talking about it.
I am tired of this. This is fucking over with. We need to out these people. And Jessie had a good point this morning. She goes, I think because people aren't working and all of Hollywood is shut down, therefore they don't have jobs anyways, so they're not worried about losing jobs.
Right.
It makes sense, but things like this are a positive step, and I would love to see all of these motherfuckers outed, dude, to be honest with you. Because this has gone on for far too long. That is crazy, man.
And other, so this has flight logs. It also has
flight logs will be huge.
Yeah, it has her testimony denying that she had any part in any of this stuff.
Okay.
Which
is not true, obviously.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
And then the other documents include emails and depositions by others, including Giffrey. I don't know who that is. Giffrey, who's that? It's the defamation case from Virginia Roberts Giffrey.
Yes.
Who was one of the alleged victims.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has all the fucking correspondence of the anonymous women who have made claims against Epstein, all of them, apparently. So that's a lot of information that'll come out. And that, I think...
When is that going to come out, they said?
Within the week. Well, not within this week, but by the end of next week, yes.
The flight logs will be massive. So here's the thing about that. Since we're talking about this out loud and this is breaking news. With these flight logs, when these names are released on there, it's going to be the same thing that we were talking about towards the top of the show, Dan, where the headline is going to be all of these celebrities, politicians, and other famous people who are in these flight logs. They're going to get lumped in with Epstein no matter what. And some people won't even bother to wait and see what happens after that. Their names are going to be tied to this fucking flight log. It's going to come out, and then it's going to be like, all right, sweet, so-and-so was with Epstein. This person was with Epstein. And shit's going to start to get really fucking crazy here. One of two things comes to mind when I hear this. One, if somebody's not going to try to take her down in prison now after these names get released, knowing how much more she knows. Or two, does this give her the ammunition to be like, all right, great. If you have all of this unsealed, let's unseal all of it and open up the fucking floodgates for all this shit and see what happens. Because to me, this woman right now is the most powerful woman that could take down all of politics, Hollywood, and all your philanthropy organizations all in one. Because let's face it, a lot of these charity organizations are funneling this money in and doing fucked up shit. And even religion, man. A lot of this is probably going through the churches as well.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Just to circle back, it's tryfirstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros.
There we go.
Tryfirstleaf.com.
Tryfirstleaf.com/Drinkin Bros.
And if you guys have any problems with the site or
fan of
anything,
that.
just let me know.
Yeah, just let us know. We're always here. We typically always answer shit.
But anyways, yeah, you're right. I mean, this through every level of any kind of organization or authority right now that involves wealthy people,
Yep.
they're fucking scared. And
fuck yeah, they are.
Good for them. And I feel like this is the kind of thing we set up in a military operation where you set up something like a fucking L-shaped ambush, right?
Uh-huh.
And you let people walk into it and you fuck them up. And then there's maybe somebody over to the side that pops squirters as they're trying to flee.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Keep a really close eye on who recedes from public life.
Yes.
Over the next 6 months or so. Between now and July 12th, 2021, which is the date of the trial for Ghislaine Maxwell, pay really close attention to any celebrities that you just don't see or hear anymore. They're probably involved in some way.
Let me ask you this. If this happened to you, what would you do personally in something like this? Would you just take your money and go to some fucking, countryside in England or Europe and just call it a day?
You mean if I got caught
Yeah,
doing
with any of this
some kind of
fucked up
crime.
shit. If you're a celebrity right now, do you start pre-planning for this? Like, one would think you would. Like Kevin Spacey is a perfect example.
Well, I wonder if now it isn't the perfect time to do this trial then because of that, because it's hard to travel internationally right now.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the Trump plan all the time, just to like wait until nobody could go anywhere, and then now I've got you, bitch. You know what I mean?
What if
that would be very, very smart?
What if Trump was the one who came out and fucking outed all these fucking people? Problem is, there's pictures with him and Melania. Now, granted,
I don't understand Trump's comment at the presser the other day either.
I wish her well.
Yeah, like I don't really know her. I've run into her a couple of times. I wish her well. Like, dude, come on.
Right.
Make a comment. You everybody in America, including the president, knows exactly what the fuck's going on right now. I don't believe him when he says he doesn't know really what's going on. I don't believe it.
I don't know.
It would have been very easy for him to say, and yeah, I mean, fucking every fucking rich person on earth has met this woman, like multiple times, because that's what fucking they do.
I think it's hard as president to say you are rich. Because then you don't relate to normal people at that point.
It's Trump, dude. All he does is
I
brag
understand.
about how rich he is. Come
I understand,
on.
but all presidents, look, every president is going to be rich. That's the gig, right? You become presidents. Even Obama. Obama didn't have a crazy wealth before he became president. After he did, Jesus Christ, now he's loaded. But I think it's one of those things where it's hard to come out and say, I am fucking rich. All of us rich people won't run in these weird circles because then you're unrelatable to everyone else. So I don't know. I also know in these pressers, he wants to get the fuck out of there, and people keep firing away questions. And I'm not standing up for Trump all the way. It's my guess. Having been in a bunch of those situations where it's like there's a million people firing questions at you. You sometimes you just want to get out of there, and you're like, oh, who is that? Yep. Good luck to all of them, and fantastic. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think if he comes out and makes a hard stance and says, hey, man, I want to expose this. I want to expose her and everything else that's going on. Then I think it would do him a lot of good.
I feel like he might be saving that.
Oh, for
like October, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like because it's Trump, dude.
Yeah.
Like all those other reasons you said could be true, but usually when he feels irritated and backed into a corner, he just says something rude and leaves. Especially when your whole entire campaign is drain the swamp, nothing would be considered draining the swamp better than outing all these fucking pedophiles. Yeah.
And
if all of his political ads in October were basically like, hey, we're pursuing this fucking Epstein thing, and all of you people in Hollywood and in fucking DC that have been fucking children, you're done, son.
Yeah.
That he would win by fucking a landslide, I think.
I agree.
That point.
This would be a monster story to break.
And rightfully so, even if you don't agree with his political policies, no matter what happens, like obviously he's good at running the economy, and there's plenty. If you feel like he's some guy that's setting back civil rights, there's so much opposition to that and so much progress being made currently. I don't think you can make that argument. So this stopping these fucking rich cabal of pedophiles is more important than anything that's going on Earth right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like stopping people from hurting children is the most important thing that you could ever do with your life.
I agree.
And I would vote for, if he does something like that, I will probably vote for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I would never do that under any other circumstance.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, Hitler has been unmasked.
I mean, we all knew he was a piece of shit,
CIA
right?
reports reveals some really weird shit about Adolf Hitler. That he had a micro penis, one testicle, and was incapable of having normal sex, according to an American psychologist at Harvard and a Harvard professor who contributed to a CIA report in 1943. How did they get this information? Was there
from ex-lovers?
Oh, got it.
Yeah. Mostly
because they didn't find a body, right?
Mostly underage. Of his? I don't know. I mean, it was in a bunker somewhere. I don't know if they ever found a body. You have to ask Tim Kennedy.
Tim Kennedy,
the rumor is
he lived out the rest of his days in, Brazil? Or?
It's possible, man. I mean, it really is. I don't know. But in this case, what they did was they interviewed top-level Nazis that they had captured and also women that had fucked them before. So apparently he had some kind of weird micro dick and he couldn't fuck like a normal person.
Right. And
they posited that was the reason he went fucking so crazy.
So
because he apparently, according to even his own writings in some instances, he felt like super diminished because of his small stature and the fact that he was kind of like gangly and sickly looking all the time. So he just like wanted to fucking kill everybody, I guess. I don't know.
So here's what's interesting about this. This was kind of the same case with Weinstein, that he had this weird fucking penis. He couldn't get it up. He was ashamed of his appearance,
right,
the way he looked, his looks and everything else. And, you develop this inferiority complex. You take it out against everybody else. And this tale, to me, is as old as time.
It makes sense. I mean, apparently he liked to rough up the women that he fucked, too. He also fucked his cousin that was 17 a bunch. That's...
Really?
Could be rumor. He liked to... So here's one quote. The Whiter report claimed he had a micropenis, one testicle, and also liked to force women to kick him and defecate on him.
Oh, shit on him as well.
But he's German.
Yeah.
So
scat porn.
Nothing new
there.
Talk
about that all the time on this
Scheisse.
Scat porn.
Scheisse porn.
Yeah, dude.
It's nothing new over there. Germans love to poop on each other.
Why is that?
Because, it's Germany, bro.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I don't know.
I get it.
That's like using a word in its own definition, but...
It's Germany,
German,
brother.
They love poop and fucking David Hasselhoff. Apparently, it's like number 1 and 2 over there. I don't know if this could just be some kind of bullshit propaganda, to be honest. But I can see it all being true because of.
So could I. Like I don't have
behaved.
You don't have to twist my arm trying to believe this shit.
Yeah. So if you see a 55-year-old dude out there in a sports car,
mm-hmm.
convertible sports car, and you're like, man, that guy's got a little dick. At least he's not killing Jews.
Yeah.
At least he's not letting somebody shit on him.
Yeah.
Like, give that guy a fucking break.
Give him a break.
He's using whatever resources he has to try to maximize his fucking loneliness. Or, I'm sorry, maximize his potential to escape the loneliness he's in right now.
Right.
Give him a break.
Give him a break.
He's not rising up. He's not annexing Poland.
No. He's fine. What he should have done was just drank some Killcliff CBD from killcliffcbd.com. 25 milligrams in every single can. You will not piss hot for THC. There's no THC in any of these cans. If you've got aches or joint pain, anything else like that, CBD is amazing for it. This is the best drinkable on the market, and it's Killcliff. It's a name you can trust. 3 amazing flavors: grape, orange kush, and a ridge. Go to killcliffcbd.com today. Use the promo code Drinkin Bros for 20% off a case, and you get free shipping. That is important, especially when you're getting canned shipped, because that shit gets expensive, son. Expensive. Last but not least here, D'Anthony, Joe Biden has dementia.
Yeah.
Dementia. But his team doesn't seem to be that great either.
I say that because he keeps reading off, or we say that because he keeps reading off of scripts, but the things he's saying are fucking dumb. It's still dumb.
It is.
Like the stuff that's coming from his media team to the piece of paper or fucking Word doc or whatever it is in front of him is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And it's making him look worse than he did before. I don't get it, man. Who is his campaign manager?
Here's the thing, man. You're stuck. This one is so frustrating because I've never seen anything like this in American history. You're stuck. You've got a guy that has dementia, who you have to limit him to press conferences. The one that you're referring to the other day, he refused to answer any reporters' questions. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So they got him out of there before the reporters could talk to him.
That's not a good sign, by the way.
No, but I think they're going to continue doing this.
Yeah, they have to. Until they get to the fucking debates, and then it's game on, right?
Right, and I think we're, less than 4 weeks away from the debates, if I'm not mistaken?
They're in August.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I don't think you have a choice at this point. You're trying to limit his amount of interaction on screen and on camera, so that way these clips stop going viral of him making mistakes. What I will say is this.
Because that is the story right now.
Yes.
The story is that, like, if you look at the political spectrum, Trump, depending if you're from the left, Trump is mismanaging COVID, and he's using authoritarian federal police to do blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. On the Biden side, it's this guy can't remember where the fuck he is right now.
Right.
And if you take those two things, there's a bunch of people in the middle that are voters that, like the center left and center right people, believe those things more than the people on the fringe for the opposite side. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like people on Trump's side don't think he's mismanaging COVID. They don't think that the federal police thing is a big deal. Mm-hmm. But everybody in the middle believes all this shit that everybody on the fucking wings believes.
Yeah.
So if you have to choose between some guy that literally has dementia and some guy whose policies are like, the economy's good though. I mean, 83% of the time when the economy's good, the party that is in office gets reelected.
Right.
Whether it's the same person or a new president comes in. So get fucked.
Yeah, and as this continues, I think you're going to see this more and more. I'm real curious to see these debates, and I'm also curious if his team doesn't go back and say, "Hey, man, let's limit this to an hour because you're going to 2 hours."
Yeah. Well, the problem right now is that, or at least the issue that we're talking about is that Biden made this fucking comment, and it was like a soliloquy in a vacuum that Trump is like, we've had racists before, but never they never got elected for president.
Yeah.
Like, and then he kind of amended it like, well, nobody actually ever ran on a racist campaign and won. That's what the fucking, what do you call it?
Segregationist party?
No, hang on a sec.
I remember David Duke was running too.
His campaign advisor, Simone Sanders, who was Bernie's press secretary, by the way.
Okay.
She's 30.
Yeah.
And not smart.
No.
She said that what he was actually trying to say was that nobody actually ran on a racist ticket before. So she said, there have been a number of racist American presidents. You mean maybe like the ones that owned slaves? But Trump stands out, especially in modern history, because he made running on racism and division his calling card and won. He deliberately foments both, intentionally causing indescribable pain because he thinks it advantages him politically. The George Wallaces of our country's history who have run on these hate-filled themes have lost. Now, that's nonsense. Andrew Jackson murdered fucking thousands of Indians,
right.
American Indians, American Native Americans, whatever you want to call them. Thousands. Mm-hmm. Like the majority of not the majority, but a very large portion of our first 10 or so presidents owned human beings. You know what I mean? Like the 16th president was Abraham Lincoln, and that's when fucking slavery got overturned. So there was a lot of fucking time in between there.
Yeah.
This comment is absurd, and the fact that they're backtracking on it is even funnier to me. I love this. This is one of my absolute favorite things, is when liberals are forced to defend indefensible positions. I fucking love it, because the level of cognitive dissonance truly betrays how fucking stupid the binary fucking political two-party system in this country is. It's nonsense. It puts you in a position where if my side says something, I have to defend it, and that is wrong. If we're looking for facts and evidence, look, facts don't care about your feelings.
Right.
They don't give two fucks about your feelings. There is a best way to do our economy. There is a best way to handle our national security. There is a best way to make sure that there is equality in this country, and it's not a political issue. That's fucking bullshit. That is a fucking red herring that people that are rich use to fucking control you. That's all that is. Fuck that shit. Like, get out of that.
Yeah.
Like, get your brain out of that and start voting for things that make sense. That should be your only criteria, not a R or a D. It should be, does this make sense? And if it does, then good. If it doesn't, then fuck them.
Yeah, the narrative I hate in particular is that all Republicans are racist. I hate that. Racism doesn't have a fucking
Jesus
party.
Christ,
and the fact that you're going all in on this from the get-go of like, if you're voting for Trump, you're a racist. He's the first openly racist president. It's fucking bullshit. I don't know if Joe Biden knows Donald Trump personally. I highly doubt it. I'm sure they've ran together in certain circles back in the day, obviously.
I can't imagine they've spent a lot of time together.
Yeah. But calling someone a racist is so fucking strong.
Yeah.
That
that's like accusing somebody of rape.
Yeah. The word is so strong and it has so much power. When you do that and when you throw that word around like that, it's the same thing as when Biden was accused of rape by that woman, right? And he vehemently came out and said, I didn't rape this. I don't even know this woman, blah, 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 blah. It's the same thing.
Right.
And so how you don't see the same parallels to me is fucking insane. And I can't stand that. Racism doesn't have a fucking party. It's just a person. So it's your personal beliefs. And if you're fucking racist, congratulations. Chances are that spans through both parties and whatever you believe in, and it's bullshit. So me personally, I hated the fact that he said that, and fuck Joe Biden. He's my get fucked of the week. I know China was yours.
Yeah. Well, how can you fucking spend all of your political capital trying to convince the entire American population that the other guy's trying to fucking divide people when that's all you do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the fucking left in this country, all they want to do is divide everybody into their little fucking groups, and then like make sure we're treating everybody like they're in their little fucking groups.
Yeah.
Get fucked with your group, man. I don't give a shit about that. Come hang out and join society. Be part of it, right? People are going to make mistakes. Sometimes they're going to be insensitive. But if we're all part of society, then things will be fine for the most part. And if you're one of those people that are part of society already, make goddamn sure you're not just saying that you're reaching out and pulling other people in, particularly those people who have been systematically disenfranchised over the years, including people in rural white America and West Virginia and fucking coal towns and all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
And black people in inner cities. It's not exclusive. Fuck that shit.
I agree. This is the point in the show we get to the Drinkin Bro of the Week. This one was submitted by James Tamaro from Texas. He says he's been a member of Drinkin Bros for 4 years and is nominating Leroy Lucio. He said Leroy was a captain with the Houston Fire Department. He lost his battle with the coronavirus yesterday on July 20th, 2020. He is the first firefighter to pass away from the virus. He was a 29-year veteran of the fire department and a heck of a guy. He would give you the shirt off his back without a second thought. He was an amazing firefighter, and he lived in San Antonio, where he also passed away. Cheers. Cheers to you. We appreciate the nominations. Where are they going to? Are they going to drinkinbros.com for that?
Or the
Facebook,
yeah. Drinkinbros.com is the best way though.
Yeah, drinkinbros.com. We don't promote
because it goes
that
directly
much.
to our email address if you do it.
Yeah, and we don't promote it that much, but we've got T-shirts there. They're $19.99 a piece. Cheap as fuck.
We're about to
butter soft tees. They're there.
Jared's about to fucking put some rethrust his fucking jizz dick into the merch biz.
Yeah,
we're gonna get a bunch of shit going here pretty soon in the next couple of weeks.
There's been so much crazy shit going on in the world today. We forget to tell you, hey, we got T-shirts and hats and all that other stuff. We go to drinkinbros.com. That's where you can submit your Drinkin Bro of the Week. And as always, we thank you for tuning in with us. Subscribe to Drinkin Bros podcast on YouTube and go to iTunes and rate our show a 5-star.